Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about apple cider vinegar and how we can implement this into our weight loss journey to expedite the rate at which we lose the fat, and also to bust through any of the plateaus if you're not already doing apple cider vinegar. If you have that extra 10 to 20 pounds that just isn't coming off, we're going to be talking about how you can use this to get rid of that extra 10 to 20 pounds, because I see a lot of my patients get frustrated with that they can't get those last little couple of pounds off, or it's that they've plateaued after losing 15 to 20 pounds and they don't know really what to do. And so I wanted to share my experience with helping people bust through these plateaus, and then also talk about some other things that you need to look into if you are having trouble losing weight that may be underlying factors that your doctor, nutritionist, or whoever it is that's helping you with your weight may not be addressing. So apple cider vinegar is a great tool to use if you're at that point. And the active component of this is the acetic acid. And Dr. Berg does a great job talking about this, but acetic acid in itself doesn't have any vitamin or mineral components to it. So it's, there are some people who say that it may have a lot of vitamins and minerals in it. Typically, if you're taking it in a supplement form, they're adding those back in. But the acetic acid has some very good benefits, and this is how it helps bust through weight loss plateaus. Now, it helps with appetite suppression. So there are a few studies that are coming out about this. Like I've said, this is fairly early, so it's nothing that has a lot of research behind it, but it has shown in several studies that it will suppress appetite. So if you do this before your meals, like we're going to be talking about at the end of the video, then this can prevent you from having those sugar cravings, wanting to eat more, and overeating and getting excess calories that you don't need. So appetite suppression is the first benefit. If you feel like you're just constantly hungry and always needing something, or maybe, if you're bored and you just feel like you constantly have to eat, try some apple cider vinegar before your meals. And if you still have that issue, try it afterwards to see if you can get that appetite suppression, because this is very key. If we're just constantly overeating and we're getting those empty calories, then you're going to store that all as fat. So appetite suppression is one of the benefits that they're looking at now. Blood sugar is another one. Whether you're hyper or hypoglycemic, then apple cider vinegar will help increase the insulin sensitivity. So what happens, it will push the blood sugar into the cells, and it will help insulin do that job. Why this is important is because if your blood sugars are way too high, the body knows that, and it's going to produce more insulin to get those blood sugars out, or it goes and stores them in the liver as fat, and that's how people end up with fatty liver. By doing so, it will push all of that blood sugar into the muscle cells for active use, and this is where being active and doing exercise comes in to be very effective for helping reducing blood sugars and for weight loss. So it can help curb that response, because if after you eat and you get real jittery, especially if you're eating a lot of simple sugars, then that's when you can get those jittery feelings. Maybe you feel good and then you have that crash afterwards. Then that can be what's known as rebound hypoglycemia, where you secrete too much insulin and it crashes the blood sugars, and then you get that foggy brain feeling and you just don't feel cognitively well. But the acetic acid component will help regulate those blood sugars. It will help regulate them better. Now, the key component to this is that you can't expect to eat like a high carbohydrate, simple sugar meal and expect just to take apple cider vinegar and get all the benefits from it. You still have to eat like a Mediterranean style diet is what I recommend for those blood sugars to get controlled and regulated appropriately. So don't think that just because you take some apple cider vinegar, you can go and eat donuts. That's not how this works. You still need to eat an appropriate diet, but as a lot of people are seeing now, insulin resistance is a huge issue, and the acetic acid can help people control that and regulate that and reverse that. Now, it also helps with fat burning. So a lot of this, in my opinion, and what the research is showing, is that the acetic acid will help you absorb the vitamins and minerals that you need in order to stimulate the metabolism. And now, instead of having poor digestion, so if you have GERD, heartburn, or if you have indigestion, you may not be getting all the vitamins and minerals. And that can be another reason why you're constantly hungry. Because if you're not getting the amount of zinc or, iron, potassium, B vitamins that you need to function throughout the day, then what will happen is you'll constantly eat to try to get more and more of those to make up for the deficit. And that's how a lot of the foods are in America, is that they are very nutrient deficient. They don't have a lot of these vitamins and minerals that are very important in order for like hormonal regulation and metabolism regulation when it comes back into the thyroid. So by getting the vitamins and minerals that you need, you can have proper thyroid conduction and you can regulate your metabolism a lot better. It also helps, like I said, these two kind of tie into one another because they improve digestion. So like we talked about with GERD, heartburn, or indigestion, if you have those, you may not be absorbing all the vitamins and minerals that you need. So by doing so, these two can have like a symbiotic relationship where they help one another. So as the digestion improves and as you get less GERD and heartburn and indigestion, you're going to increase your fat burning and your metabolism. Number 5 is that it will actually decrease fat storage. So if it's pushing these blood sugars into the muscles for active use, then what will happen is that they won't make it to the liver, and the liver is where a lot of your fats get processed and you get a lot of your sugars processed as well. As the primary detoxifier in the body. And by doing this, what happens is that the liver has less to deal with. So it can focus on other things like detoxifying your body, pulling out toxins, hormonal transformation, which happens in the liver as well. And that's all because that acetic acid increases that insulin sensitivity so that you can get those blood sugars and that glucose pushed into the muscle cells. And then it also increases satiety. And like I said, all of these kind of correlate to one another because it's a chain effect. The increased satiety comes because of the improved digestion. Now that you're absorbing the vitamins and minerals that you need, then you're not as hungry. So you're not having such a big appetite. You don't have to eat all these empty calories, which then go back into increasing your fat storage because you have all of these calories and this glucose that needs to get stored somewhere because it's in excess. So those are the 6 big key components when it comes to apple cider vinegar of how it helps with weight loss. And the burning question I know that you have is, so what do you recommend for me to do in order to get these benefits? So I tell everybody, when you're going to eat your meals, about 4 to 6 ounces. I don't like as much water as some other people because I don't want to get a full stomach, and I don't want to have that like overwhelming feeling and that kind of like sick feeling in my stomach. So 4 to 6 ounces of water with a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar is all that you need in order to get the appropriate benefits of the appetite suppression, the blood sugar regulation, the fat burning, the improved digestion, the fat storage, and the increased satiety. So it's really simple. So you take that before you eat, and then it will give you all of those benefits of the acetic acid. So like I said, try that out, especially if you do have any type of digestive or gut issues. This can be a really key changer into your metabolic health and busting through those weight loss plateaus. One key component to this is that you may not see the benefits until 30 days after doing this. And when I talk to my patients about appropriate outcomes, we have to understand that time is the biggest factor when it comes to healing the body and reversing any type of chronic diseases. And you have to have an appropriate time frame. If you're expecting all of this and to lose 10 or 20 pounds in 2 weeks, that's not an appropriate outcome. But if you're looking at 30 days and getting rid of an extra 2 to 5 pounds, that is a very appropriate outcome. And then in another month, maybe you're at 10 or 15, and now you're at that point to where you're very happy with your body and how you feel and the weight loss. So appropriate expectations are always very important, and I hope that you understand that. If you have any questions, please just comment below. There's some free resources in the description below as well. And I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you all next time. Bye.